Wake up, Shatter Me Nation. A snippet just dropped for the Watch Me book, the spin off of the Shatter Me series. It's on Tahada's Instagram. If you haven't seen it, go read it and then come back and then we can talk about it. I was gonna do a raw reaction of my first reading of the chapter, but I got too excited, obviously. But now we're gonna talk about it. I wanted to talk about a few things that I didn't bring up in my last few videos, so we will get into that. Somebody brought up a question regarding James in my first video. They asked about why James chose the name Anderson and not Kent, which was Adam's last name, and I said I was pretty sure it was because of Warner. Even though, about Anderson doing evil things to James, he still picked Anderson mainly because of Warner. He wants to be like him. And I said this a month ago, and then when this snippet dropped, I was like, yeah, that's what I said. I was like, it was partly because Warner, since he did save, the world, and James wanted to be affiliated with him and wanted to be him, also wanted to be recognized and feared in a way because James doesn't want to be seen as a kid anymore, That chapter just confirmed all that, so that's the reason why, if you're wondering. Anyway, I made a list of things I wanted to talk about. The second thing was the thing about Juliet and the doctor's thing. I had like a deja vu reading this because if you know the selection, spoiler for the Air, the fourth book and the fifth book of the selection, at the end of the Air, America has a heart attack. And that's because her kid, Aaron, Aren, Aaron, leaves his family to go to a different country to his lover. This is basically the same if you think about it. Not really, but like Juliet gets freaked out because James is left by himself to go to this Ark Island and try to do things by himself. Another thing, the whole thing about Juliet having a kid. I said in my last video, I think I haven't watched it in a while, but in my last video, I said that I was pretty sure Juliet was pregnant, that they didn't have a kid yet, but she would be pregnant. And I'm pretty sure she is after that whole thing about Juliet and needing a doctor and stuff like that when James mentioned it. So I don't think Gigi is Warnet's kid. I had a thought about it. I was like, would James have mentioned it? Maybe. I think Gigi's Adam's kid, if I'm being completely honest. Definitely not Kenji's kid, I don't think. I think it's Adam and Alia's kid. But we have to see, right? We'll have to see. I feel like Adam's more of a person who would have a kid first, out of the Anderson brothers. And the other thing was when James brought up that he asked Warner and Juliet to take care of him, or to take him in. So I think that made a lot of people freak out, right? Ditching Adam was a thing. I know she said in a comment when somebody asked about why Tahada was like ditching Adam, treating him badly. She's like, no, Adam has a role. And do I believe that? She said this a couple of books before in Restore Me, like how much Adam's gonna be in these books, and she said that he will play a role. And if you think about it, the last few books, he didn't really have a role. He was just in the background, which made some people mad or sad about. For me, I was fine with him just being in the background and not really having a big role, to be honest. So with these books, I expect him to have a bigger role, considering, James and Adam are like tight. Even with Warner and Juliet, raising James from 11 years old, so for 10 years, raising James for 10 years, I can just imagine teenage James. we just missed out on the whole James being a teenager and Warner and Juliet just like parenting him. I just want to know more about that, and I'm sure he'll bring it up when he remembers things from the past. I also thought about like, why did James ask Warner and Juliet to take him in when Kenji was right there? Maybe, well, first of all, Warner is his brother and he wants to spend time with him more, and I completely understand that. But I was like, Kenji's right here. Then I had a thought about it, and I was like, Kenji and Azira probably want some space. And also, Kenji's probably busy, and I also thought, like, maybe in the later books, or maybe within that 10-year gap, Kenji and Azira probably went to Asia to go see Haida, or just spend time in Asia with Nazira. That would be really cool, and I wish we can hear about that. If they go in the later books, that would be cool to hear about, different continents in the Shadow Me world. I think that's all I had really listed. I did want to talk about my theories, but I don't really have any at this point yet. Maybe after the first book, I'll have more thoughts on that on the later books. But I did also write down Warner slash or Adam will get in trouble and James will come to the rescue for them too. That'd be really interesting. Maybe later on the books. Warner doesn't get taken that easily. That guy, my man's, will not, unless Julie gets in trouble, he would willingly. I know we all saw that in Imagine Me, be taken. So I think Adam would be in trouble, but I don't know how much Adam will be in these books. I mean, I hope so. Yes, and maybe. I just want to see how he's doing and what he chose to do in that 10 years. Oh, also, the other characters, the new characters of the Supreme kids. I want to know more about them. I know we got to see them in the second trilogy, but like, I wanted to know more about them. Just everybody. There's a lot of characters, and it's like, I understand why some people might not have time in the spotlight, which makes sense. The books are so tiny. That's another thing that I want to talk about. I really hope it's so much thicker than the other books. I don't think so now, because I looked at the photo. Might be even be the same size as the first book, which I'll be very sad about. It was sad, the whole like James comparing Adam and Warner, and how Adam wanted peace and Warner wanted justice. I saw a lot of edits about that. Yeah, and all the things that I just want to see happy Warner, soft Warner. And I'm sure in that 10 years, his therapy, I'm sure is better. And also him being all like protective and still lovey-dovey with Juliet. It just, James and Warner's interactions is so cute and so brotherly. I just want to know how tall James is, okay? I think he's definitely taller than Adam and Warner. That's for sure. I have this feeling that he is. I want to know what Warner looks like. James does not describe him at all. What he looks like now. He probably has a beard, and then James being like, "You spoiled me," Warner being a dad. Just imagine it. Just imagine it. And James is like Warner and Juliet's first kid. They kind of like experience having a child through James. Is so nice. And now I'm sure they're gonna welcome a baby girl or baby boy into the world. I really hope they have like twins or something. That'd be so cute. I really wanted the next page so much. Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be more snippets from here on. Maybe. I'm just really excited about this book, about this new series, how long it's gonna be. I'll make a reading vlog as soon as it comes out and have my hands on a physical copy. No. I'll have a physical copy later, I think. I'm definitely reading an ebook first, and then theories later on. Thanks for watching it this far, and I'll see you in the next video.